Hi punters, and welcome back to another Saturday Racing preview. Of course, in this video we're looking at the Randwick meeting, and if you haven't already done so, go check out my Black Caviar Lightning Stakes preview at Flemington. I've just uploaded that video just before, so if you haven't already done so, go and check out that one, or you can check it out after this video if you so wish. But in this video, of course, we're looking at the Randwick meeting, the New South Wales feature meeting of the program, of the day, sorry, and looking at some nice races. We of course have race number 7, the Tab Light Fingers Stakes, so looking forward to that. Also got the Aquis Apollo Stakes in race number 8, and the Triscay Stakes in race number 9. So some really nice races to look forward to in races 7, 8, and 9. But it's a good program overall, so looking forward to getting into it. So just going to go straight in. Race number 1 is the highway race of the day, over 1800 metres. Look at the speed map for the Tab Highway race here. We're looking at, I think, Harbring and Caps Boy will find the top, with Apache Junction, Sir Leo, and also upstairs, and will be towards the speed as well, I'd say, in this one. So, but look, I'm pretty keen to go number 12, Sir Leo here. He comes in off the back of 2 seconds at Muswellbrook and Tamworth. I think it'll be up towards the speed, to see it being quite hard to beat here. I think find a nice spot from barrier 13. Not a whole lot of speed in the race, so I think it will really appreciate stepping up to 800 metres. Hasn't done so before in its career, so a real bit of intrigue there, but a little bit of market supports there. It's been relatively solid in the market, so I'd say that it can run a good race each way. So I'm going to have it on top, ahead of number 5, Rostam, who comes into this off an 8th at Tamworth last time out, but it comes back to 800 metres. Last time it was at this distance range, finished 2nd at Rose Hill behind Gunga Din in a high race there on that occasion. So I think that's if we can return to that sort of form, it'll run well enough here. Tom Marquand's on fire as well in the saddle, so maybe sometimes you just got to follow a jockey that's in form, so you can trust him to ride it well. So I've got it in for 2nd. In for 3rd, I'm relatively keen to play at number 14, Apache Junction, who comes to this off a 4th at Scone last time out, and comes up to 800 metres here. I think it might appreciate the step up in distance. Rachel King in the saddle. Again, I find this horse will be out in front and just be rolling along. It might prove hard to beat, so I'm going to have it in for 3rd. And then in for 4th, number 1, Harbring, who has National Will in the saddle, was finished 9th last time out at Randwick, but in a highway race on that occasion. But it steps out to the 800 metres. I think I will appreciate the step up in distance. So recapping the numbers for me, I'm pretty keen to play number 12, Sir Leo, on top and the first on the card, ahead of number 5, Rostam, in for 2nd. In for 3rd, number 14, Apache Junction, and in for 4th, number 1, Harbring. Pretty tough little highway race to kick off the program. Moving on to race number 2, 2,400 metre race over benchmark 78. Just 9 horses in this race. Looking at the speed map for this one, I'd say that Our Fun and Night Star will be on the speed, with probably She's Ideal and Fleeting Strike just even behind them, I would suggest. Look, I'm going to land with number 4, She's Ideal here. She's a bit of a risk coming in $1.80, but she just hasn't done anything wrong so far, so got to give her a nice chance here. She finished one really well beating Costello last time over 2,000 metres. I think coming up to 2,400 is just going to just see further improvement from her. She just keeps, every time they ask for something from her, she just keeps producing. My big step question is, though, it's gone from 1,550 at Canterbury up to 2,000 at Randwick, up to 2,400. It is a big jump. It's 900 metres jump in 2 starts. But look, so far from what she's done, you've got to be with her. $1.80 is a little bit questionable, but I think in this field we can get away with backing her at $1.80. I think she can be hard to beat. Number 2, Birth of Venus, is also got a decent enough chance here. It comes in off the back of a 4th last time out, 2 She's Ideal, and did make some good ground late there on that occasion. So maybe, I think the question with this horse is that I reckon the 2,400 metres have suited perfectly. So it's never done it before, but the breeding suggests it'll eat that up. So I think it's got a nice enough chance as well. Number 1, Dark Pearl, in for 3rd. Again, a horse that has run at this distance before and has proven it, has missed a top 3 finish only once from 6 tries at this sort of distance range. Has never placed at the track, though, which is a bit of a query from 3 goes. Last time it was 5th in that She's Ideal race. So, I mean, you look at it really, over the 2,000 metres, I can't really see any of these horses overturning it, even that extra 400 metres so far. So that's why I'm keen to dive into She's Ideal at $1.80. Then in for 4th, number 3, Our Fun. I'm pretty keen to play the 4 that are in market order here. I think they're the ones to beat. This horse, Our Fun, ran at over 2,400 metres last time out at Warwick Farm, and it was a pretty strong race as well. It was beaten by Taika Mochi and Naval Warfare on that occasion. Prior to that, Was beaten by Primitivo up at the Gold Coast in an open race there. So this horse is coming out of some decent enough form lines and just a little bit different to some of these. And perhaps $6 is a nice price to take. So our Fun is a bit of an interesting runner here. I think it could be the one that could knock off the favourite. But look, from what we've seen so far, I've got to go She's Ideal. She's really enjoyed the wet tracks. Steps up. Every time she's been asked for something, she's done it. I think she'll be hard to beat. She gets the box seat run. And if all things go well, she gets a bit of luck. She wins this race, I think, for me. In for second, number 2, Birth of Venus. In for third, number 1, Dark Pearl. And in for fourth, number 3, Our Fun. Moving on to race number 3, it's a 1,000-metre race, benchmark 88. Looking at the speed map for this one, I'd suggest it'd be quite a bit of speed. And Goldfinch, Say Stella, Royal Witness. Baller's usually up on the speed. Coruscate's usually just off the lead. Clear the Beach will be near enough as well. So a lot of speed in this race, and I think that it'll set up really nicely for number 1, God of Thunder, who I think will be able to charge on from the back, finish over the top. Brock Ryan is in the saddle, gets a 3 kilo claim just to bring it down to that 58 kilos rather than carrying the 61. This horse has been great first up, I will admit that, but it loves a heavy track, so I think he'll eat up this sort of going, and the fact that they'll be bowling along really quick out front, I think it'll suit him nicely. He'll be able to come into the race and finish over the top of him. So I've got him on top. You have number 2, Coruscate, who's I think a really good price at the $6 and $2 a place. So if you want to each way play rather than going to the favourite of God of Thunder, I would suggest Coruscate. This horse has got great fresh record, 4 starts, 2 wins and a placing first up, and has had a placing on a heavy track 4, and on a soft track it has won and placed off 2 goes. So it loves a wet track. And loves running first up, and I think if it can get a good enough run in the race from barrier 9 with Hugh Bowman in the saddle, I think it could be a very good each way play. And if they're struggling to make up ground from the back, there's the horse I want to be on. Number 3, Baller, in for third. Look, has been disappointing this preparation to say the least, but albeit in much tougher company than this. So does get that real step back in class, has National Will in the saddle, but barrier 11's a little bit of a concern, and the heavy track's also a concern. It's only run on the going has been a failure to run a place on that occasion, but you got to respect that he is much better than this opposition. So if he can run up to that kind of form, he will beat this opposition even on the heavy track. But it's just that real question on if he's still up to that kind of form. So that's the query you got to take with it. And then in for fourth, number 8, Say Stella, who will be just bowling along out front again, doesn't mind a heavy track. Was excellent winning first up at Moonee Valley over 955 metres on that occasion, beating Lady Solly. This is a much tougher race though. Has had 2 placings, second up from 3 goes. So definitely has a good chance, and loves running here at Randwick. So had 4 starts to the track for 2 wins and a second. So I've got to give it a decent enough chance at the $7, especially $2.20 the place. Looks pretty appealing. But for me, number 1, God of Thunder, I think the race just runs the suit, and he loves a heavy track, so I think he's going to be hard to beat at the $2.50. But if you did want to play that $2.50, like I said, I do suggest an each way play at number 1, Coruscate. I think $6 and $2 a place is a real nice price. In the third, number 3, Baller, and in for fourth, number 8, Say Stella. Moving on to race number 4, and it's the Darley Lomro Plate over 1,000 metres for the 2-year-olds. Look at the speed map for this race here. I'd say Supreme Idea, Destination and Dame Giselle will definitely be out towards the front. Tight Ropes won't be far off. And a couple of these new runners that are fresh on the scene, Mystic Vein and Jor-El, it'd be interesting to see where they go, and Snitsari, whether they go up towards the lead. I'd say Snitsari will base off its trial, but look, Dame Giselle resumes here. She's $2.05. Look, she was that impressive last prep. I mean, looking at her form lines, she finished second to See You Soon, who's a very nice horse. Then it won again the start prior to that, after that over 1,100 metres. So, look, I'll give it a chance. Just that bit of a query on a heavy track, so I don't want to play it at the $2. Instead, I'm going to go at number 2, Mission River, who finished second last time at Rulership, who was beaten narrowly by Hansetic last week on a Saturday. If Hansetic was in this race, or Rulership was in this race, they'd be the clear favourite. So I think Mission River's got some nice form to bring itself into this race. I think $5 is a nice price. So I'm going to have it on top ahead of Dame Giselle, who, like I mentioned, great form last preparation. But barrier 14, first time on a heavy track. Just a bit of a query first up. I think $2 is a bit short, so I'm going to play it in for second. In for third, number 10, Ticket to Ride, who had a real nice third first up behind Rulership and Mission River. So again, repeat that performance, we'll see it run well here again. So I've got it in for third. And then in for fourth, number 13's Fall on a Star, who Was really well spec first up and ran 6 behind every rose, and that form line race has been excellent. Prior to that, it's had 2 real nice trials that leaded into this event. $11 is a pretty nice price, I think, first up here. I do give number 15 Snitzaria a bit of a chance first up here. I think it has proven leading in that its trial form has been quite good. It was a really nice trial win. And I think it's got a bit of ability up its sleeve, but I want to see it do it first. And number 1 Destination was a good win at Kembla Grange first up on a good track on that occasion. It beat Mrs. Maisel, but I think he'll have to step up to win this race, and coming onto a heavy track, bit of a query there. But look, I'm keen to play number 2 Mission River. Like I said, I think the form lines are very good around it. So I've got it on top to beat number 7 Dame Giselle. In for third, I've got number 10 Ticket to Ride, and in for fourth, number 13 Fall on a Star. Move on to race number 5, and it's a Celebration Southern Cross over 1,200 metres. A pretty good race, this one, actually. There's a couple of nice horses in this. So look at the speed map, say Special Reward and Jungle Edge will find the top. Desert Lord and Reeby's Region won't be too far off either. And Ashlaw usually likes to find be up towards the speed as well. So should be a bit of speed in this race. I think it's going to set up quite nice for Desert Lord, who might just sit in behind them, smoke the pipe and try to finish over the top. I think the heavy track's going to suit him well. He's obviously doesn't have the first up form. Second up's usually when you want to back him. But I liked his recent trial at Warwick Farm on a heavy track. He was finished by Ball Muscle and Shadow Bridge there. So I think if he can bring that trial form into this race first up, it could be a great chance. Like I said, his first up stats aren't great, but I think at $8, he's worth a play here, especially coming out of the heavy track for the first time. He showed some good form on the soft track last prep and prior to that as well. So I think if he can get that sort of form coming into this, I think if he can sit behind the speed with all that pressure up front, he might be able to get him behind, finish, swoop around them, or get up on the inside and pip a lot of these to the posts. Number 1 Jungle Edge, give him a great chance on heavy track. You've always got to. He was excellent last time out on the soft track. He beat I'm Immortal in a strong race there. He comes up to Sydney. He has a great chance once again here. He has run at this track 13 times, just for the 1 win though, so a bit of a question there, but he has had 6 placings at the track before, so I think he's got a nice chance, especially on heavy track. Number 2 Cascading's a real interesting runner here. Gets the first crack at a heavy, but based off its soft form, I think it might actually appreciate the heavy track. And first up, it's had 2 wins from 3 goes first up, so it doesn't mind running first up. And $4.60 I think is a nice enough price. And number 6 Special Reward, who, look, I do give a chance. I think $2.70 was just way too short for me. I was quite impressed with its second behind Southern Lad, and prior to that it won well at Newcastle and in a trial. So it's had two trials between a 6th and a 5th. Those 2 trials were really good leading into that second run first up there. And look, second up stats are quite good. I mean, technically it's not second up. I mean, it's still in this preparation, but it had a bit of a spell between runs. So I do like to, if horses have a bit of a spell of about a month or 2, I do sometimes like to look at their fresh stats, because they're just coming back to the racetrack after a bit of a let-off. So that's sort of what I'm getting at with that. But look, Special Lord's got a great chance. I think $2.70 is a bit short for me. So look, I think Desert Lord's got a great chance at winning this. I know his first up stats aren't great, but I think the heavy track will suit him perfectly. He'll sit just in behind the speed, get probably the run of the race. So I think it could be really hard to beat the $8. And I'm going to have him on top. Out of number 1 Jungle Edge, in for second, in for third, number 2 Cascadian, and in for fourth, number 6 Special Reward. Move on to race number 6, and it's the Heineken 3 benchmark 88 over 1,600 metres. And it's not too bad a benchmark 88 either. A couple of nice ones in this race that have been going around in recent weeks. Look at the speed map here. I'd say Love Shack Baby, Ulasaba, Monsieur Sisu, Knight of Power, To Your Health, and White Boots will be all towards the speed. So a little bit of pressure in this race here, but I'll be interested to see how it plays out. Look, I think the horse that I think's got a nice chance here is number 12 Domed. I think it's huge odds, $27 the win and $7 the place, but has got decent enough second up form, 4 starts for a win and 2 placings. First up it was disappointing behind To Your Health on that occasion. It finished last of the 7 horses, but goes from the 1,600 metres, comes second up here. I think we can see an improved performance. And like we saw On a soft track, this horse was at its best. Had 6 starts for 2 wins and 3 placings. On heavy tracks, just had the one go for failure. But I think that it'll get through the heavy going this time around. I think $27 is a nice price. So I'm going to have it on top, going out a bit of a limb there. But I'm willing to do it. I think it's just well over the odds. Ahead of number 7, Attorney, who returned to the racetrack here off the back of a couple of nice trials at Randwick and Warwick Farm respectively. This horse won really impressively at Canterbury over 900 metres before going out for a spell. That was on a soft track. It's had 3 starts on a soft track for 2 wins. Never seen a heavy, but I think this horse will handle it fine. First up stats are good. I think it'll run the distance well. I think 310's maybe fraction short, but I do give it a good chance regardless. In for third, well, look, I think that number 11, To Your Health's got to be a great chance to win again. Has never seen a heavy track, which is a query, but it was a very nice win last time out beating Missy Beale here at Randwick over the track and distance. And then in for fourth, look, I'm going to land with number 8, Knight of Power, who is proven on the soft goings. Had 4 starts for a win and 2 placings, and it's just been quite a bit of a model consistency last time out. It was a great effort finishing 4th behind Romany Girl and Insensata, so that's some decent enough form to bring into this. Conversely, Insensata goes around in this race. It did, of course, beat Knight of Power on that occasion, but I thought it got a better run in the race on that occasion. But Tommy Marquand is in the saddle, so you've got to look out for that. But recapping the numbers for me, look, I think that just number 12, Domed, is just big odds here. I think I can see it winning a race like this, and $27, I think it's just a crazy price. So I like to play it each way. Ahead of number 7, Attorney, for second, who I do respect as a favourite. I just think 600 might be a fraction short for it first up. In for third, number 11, To Your Health. And in for fourth, number 8, Knight of Power. Moving on to race number 7. It's the first of the feature meetings of the day. 1,200 metres, race number 7. Tab Light Fingers Stakes. Looking at the speed map here, some very nice horses resuming. I'd say that Kiyomichi and Sangria will be up on the speed. Libertini won't be too far off them. Be interested to see what Darling Point does from a nice barrier there, and a couple of the ones from outside barriers, and Emeralds and Electric Girl. Be interested to see what they do as well. Look, I'm keen to play Libertini here. I think she's a good enough price at the $2.30. She's well proven on a soft track. She's never seen a heavy before, but I think she'll get through it just fine. She's absolutely excellent at Randwick. She's never missed a place from 5 goes at the track. She's never missed a place at the track and distance. 4 starts for 3 wins and a placing, and at the distance, and then at the track and distance, she's a perfect 3 from 3. So I think she can win first up here. I think 230 is a nice price, so I'm going to play her on top. Ahead of number 9, Sangria, who was a very impressive maiden winner at Gosford. You might not think that's great enough form, but Lanagira is not necessarily a slouch. Has been around some decent enough races, but it absolutely put paid to him over the 1,000 metres there. It was so impressive. I think that second up here, it's got a very nice chance at $9, especially not with a lot of speed in the race. So I think that you could definitely have a crack at it at the $9. I definitely think it's got a good enough chance, especially if some of these coming off a bit of a longer break. Number 6, Akari, I think $21 there. This horse is crazy. I mean, it's only starting a wet track was a win. It's had a nice trial leading this on a heavy going behind Avon River. Of course, it finished 1 well, beating Betcha Fly at Flemington. I mentioned that in my Flemington video, that form was very good and stacked up well. Has won at this track and distance before. It's had 2 starts for a win and a placing. So, look, I think it's got a really nice chance. Number 6, Akari, just think $21 well over the odds. So I wouldn't mind having a go at that either. The other horse I want to give a good chance is number 1, Kiyomichi, who returns here first up. And the real key of this horse is it's had 2 starts on a heavy track for 2 wins. So she loves this real muddy going, as I like to call it, and comes in off the back of a nice soft trial where it beat Deprive on that occasion, who we know is a very good horse in itself. So very good race. Look, I think Libertini returning, she'll win this race. I think she'll be extremely hard to beat. Ahead of number 9, Sangria, in for second. In for third, number 6, Akari, like I mentioned, just a bit over the odds for me. And in for fourth, number 1, Kiyomichi, I do give a very good chance. But like I said, just wanted to make a bit of a play at Sangria and Akari. I just thought they were a little bit over the odds at the big price. I do concede that Kiyomichi is a very strong challenger to number 4, Libertini. Moving on to race number 8, it's the Aquis Apollo Stakes over 1,400 metres. Look at the speed map here. I'd say Hush Rider, Dream Force, and Angel of Truth will be the 3 speed horses. Happy Clapper will be up there as well, like he usually is. So interesting to see how the speed map unfolds. Look, I'm pretty keen here to play number 9, Very Elegant. Has a heavy track here, which I think will suit perfectly. $6.50, $2 the place. I think it's a really nice price. 1400 first up is a bit of a query, but here at this distance, at this distance range, it has had 4 starts for 2 wins and a placing, and has won twice on the track. And like I said, that heavy track form really stands out to me. Its trial form hasn't been great, but I think that the heavy track's just going to suit it really nicely. I think 650 is a very nice price. I'm going to have it on top. And number 1, Happy Clapper, who returned to the racetrack. He was has had a couple of nice trials leading in so far, but he's not a heavy track horse generally, so a bit of a query there. But I think he'll get a nice run of the race and still run well, and he think he can get a place. In for third, number 2, Dreamforce. Again, hasn't won on a soft track before, or a heavy track from 7 goes, but he has placed on it a couple of times, and his trial form leading in is pretty hard to ignore, and I'd say he will roll out front and be hard to chase down. So I've got him in for third, and then number 8, Elite Say, in for fourth. Look, she was pretty good first up. She was beaten by Standout, who I think is going to be a Group 1 horse in the making, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that form, but just that bit of a query on a heavy track for Elite Say. I think $3 is a bit short for her as well. So look, I really do think that number 9, Very Elegant, can have this race at his mercy. I think he could be extremely hard to beat here, ahead of number 1, Happy Clapper, in for second. In for third, number 2, Dream Force. And in for fourth, number 8, Elite Say. The other horse I don't want to sleep on is number 10, Dance, who loves a heavy track. He's had 3 goes on the surface for a win and 2 placings, and does enjoy running at this distance range. Just has had 4 starts at Randwick for no placing, so bit of a concern there. But the wizard Tommy Markwood's in the saddle, so you've got to give it a good chance when he's in the saddle. Moving on to race number 9, and it's the Triscay Stakes for Randwick Lodge, over 1,200 metres. Nice 14-horse race, this one. Spiritual Pursuit, I'd say, will be the leader with Lashes, and Season's not far behind. Sweet Deal and Sweet Scandal will also be up there. Real and Ruby usually likes to be up towards the speed. I don't know if he'll get it on this occasion, though. Look, I'm pretty keen to go number 4, Fiesta here, first up. Has very nice first up stats. 5 starts for 3 wins and a placing. Trial form leading has been pretty decent, especially its recent trial by Nature Strip. I was quite impressed with that on a heavy surface. So it seemed to get through that heavy surface just fine. As long as it doesn't get too far back, I think with all the speed in the race, could really cut into it and finish over the top of these. And I think $7.250 the place is a nice price. So I'm going to have it on top. Ahead of number 1, Real and Ruby, who she's a real model of consistency. She's $6, and she's the favourite, which is very surprising. You don't really get too many $6 favourites, but this race is very open. It's hard to split them, but look, she's a model of consistency. She had decent enough trial form leading in, and she often runs a place. So despite in barrier 14, you've got to give her a good chance to run a top 3 finish. So I've got her in for second. In for third, number 10, Dawn, who was very impressive first up. Ran a nice third behind Rahir, and in and up was charging late. I think you would see a good improvement from it. Second up here. And then in for fourth, I want to give Purakawa a bit of a go here first up as well. He is a wet tracker. He doesn't mind the heavy surface. He's had 2 starts for a win. Trial form hasn't been great, but I think he could be a bit of a player here at the 1,400 metres, especially, the 1,200 metres, especially if he can be near enough to the speed. But recap the numbers for me, very open race. Number 4, Fiesta is the one I've landed with, though, on top ahead of number 1, Real and Ruby, in for second. In for third, number 10, Dawn, in for fourth, number 5, Bahutakawa. Moving on to race number 10, it's the over 1,300 metres, the Schweppes benchmark 88. Look at the speed map for this race here. I'd say that Manhattan Miss, Cuba, No Escape, Persuader, Bel Diablo, Vega Days, Press Box and Podium Charm might kick up off the inside barriers as well. So a lot of speed in this race, and it might just set up for a back marker. And I think that back marker could be Rohira, and he was terrific winning first up. It was a very nice performance on a good track on that occasion. This horse is proven on a heavy track, which gives it a big tick for me. Like I said, I think they're going to be really rolling around out front. And, I think he'll be able to track into it nicely and just beat these. I think he's going to be hard to beat. And then number 2, Vega Days, who drops right back in class here, but sees a heavy track for the first time. And it was a bit disappointing first up, and albeit a good race behind Standout Elite. So only finished 3 lengths off, just under 3 lengths off Standout on that occasion. But barrier 16 is a bit of a concern for me, so I would rather look around it, but I do concede it's got a very good chance. In for third, number 9, Onslaught, who Comes to this off a 5th last time out at Randwick behind Romney Girl and Insensato. I think that form's pretty good. Prior to that, finished 2nd behind Faced Off. So that kind of form could be good enough for this. And I think $19 and $5.50 the place is well over the odds. Number 10, Travancore is a very nice chance here as well. Doesn't mind a heavy track, $11 first up here. First up stats aren't great, but I think he could run a very cheeky race and watch him to be charging home late. But look, very open and even race to finish the day as well. But number 5 right here and stands out for me. I think it's going to be hard to beat. Ahead number 2, Vega Days, who drops back in class. Bit of a query on the heavy track. In for third, number 9, Onslaught, and in for 4th, number 10, Travancore. Moving back through the card, look, my best bet for me, I'm not going to go She's Ideal. I do think she's very hard to beat, but I want to play around her. Look, I think number 1, God of Thunder, I can make him one of the best bets. I do concede Coral Skate's going to be a big danger to him, but I think God of Thunder will still run a good race. I think it'll be hard to beat, so I'm going to have him as one of my best bets. Race number 3, number 1 at God of Thunder. And then the other best bet that I would like to play at is in race number 7. Number 4, Libertini at the $2.30. I think she's going to be very hard to beat first up. So it was race number 3, number 1, God of Thunder, and race number 7, number 4, Libertini at $2.30. Best each way plays, best value plays for me. Number 9, Very Elegant, and race number 8 at the $6.50. I think she's going to be very hard to beat on the heavy track in a race where a lot of her rivals don't handle the surface. So interesting little stat to go with there. So I'm going to have it on top as a best each way play. And the other one I'm going to have is number 12, Domed, at the $27 in race number 6. I think it's got a nice chance as well. So there's my Randwick meeting. If you haven't already done so, go check out the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes preview in my previous video. Good luck if you're playing tomorrow. Obviously, thanks for the support once again and watching and tuning to these videos. Feel free to leave your feedback down below. I've been really enjoying speaking to a lot of you guys in the comments section regarding some of the races. If you've got something you like, we can definitely have a good discussion over it. I'm always open to replying, and a bit of nice healthy discussion. It's what's so great about this sport. It really does give a lot of discussion points, and we get to speak about it just about every day, really. And of course, every weekend we have real top horses going around. So feel free to drop a comment in below of anything that you like tomorrow, both here and on the Flemington video, and I'll let you know what my thoughts on them are. But good luck if you're playing tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy some fantastic day of racing once again tomorrow.